article selected by our group is about egg price go up in Malaysia even as supply stabilize. This matter is also closely related to microeconomy that we have learned. Microeconomy is a branch of economics which to focus on studying the behavior of individual entities such as household, firm, and markets. It examines in which way does individual market work, as well as the detail on which regulation and taxes affect the allocation of such resources, such as workers, goods, and services to maximize profit earned. The main concept in macroeconomics is including demand and supply, elasticity, demand and supply, and market equilibrium. The article summary of microeconomic issue. First is the effect to supply and demand curve. Second, the perspective of consumer on the increase in price. Third is elasticity of demand and supply. Fourth is shortage. Fifth is impact on price flow.
Based on the graph above, we can see the original supply curve SOSO across with the original demand curve DODO at the original equilibrium EO on the original price PO and the original quantity demanded QO. But after 3 months, the graph had a change because of the egg price has been increased to P1. From that, the demand curve shifts to the left from DODO to D1D1 at the new price range, which is P1, and the new quantity demanded Q1. The demand curve has changed because they want to protest about the egg price to the suppliers and the government because they doesn't agree with that. Based on the graph shown before, we can see if the price of egg increase, it will affect quantity demanded. This is because consumer is really sensitive about price. As we know, eggs is already become one of our essential things in our grocery list because it's the cheapest and the easiest food that we can buy even in the tough situation. So, when the price of chicken eggs is being increased, it's really attracting customer attentions due to our economic issues right now. In Malaysia, we have a different types of incomes like B40s, M40, and 220s. For T20s, maybe there's not kind of issues to them to face it, but for M40, it's a quite challenging, but they can still survive. But for M40, it's really hard for them to face it. Next, consumer assumes that when the price of eggs increase, it's difficult for them to find a substitute good for eggs. As we know, eggs already become the main substitute goods for all other raw materials like chicken, beef, fish, and more. For underprivileged people like B40, for them, eggs already becomes dishes that they can eat every day. For them, egg is like a goal because to get the raw materials like chickens or fish is really hard. They should put a lot of efforts and contribute their energy on work to get it. Other than that, the reason why egg often is considered to have a limited substitute good is because in industry, especially in baking industry, they use eggs to emulsify some mayonnaise or thickening the sauce. So it's really due to that, quantity demanded does not have a big chance since people still need it on their life to continue living. Furthermore, if the price of eggs increase, the consumer will always count on the budget, whether they want to buy the item A or item B to saving up for buying a carton of eggs. Not all people around us has enough incomes like wealthy family. Each of us has a different takes of income. Like B40, they earn less than RM4,850 a month. This is the reason why I see it's difficult for them because there must be struggle with rising living costs, especially when they are married with a lot of children. In this era, all the other total expenditure has been increased to 5%. Due to that, there is not only concern about in eggs, but other expenses too. However, for M20 and T20 people, it does not have much impact due to enough income to cover all the expenses in each month of the year, especially if they are singles or married couples without a child.
Next is elasticity of demand and supply. Price elasticity of demand measures how responsive is the quantity supply of a good is the change in its price. Demand for eggs is often inelastic, meaning consumers may not significantly reduce their egg consumption in response even though the price keeps increasing. If they can't find the substitute products, they will likely continue to buy eggs. However, if the price remains high, consumers might start looking for another substitute products. Now let's move on to elasticity of supply. Elasticity of supply is to measure how responsive the quantity supply is to change in price. If the supply is stable, that means there are no immediate change by producer in quantity they supply despite the price fluctuation. This is because producers are unable to immediately increase the egg production even if the price rises. This will lead producers to take advantage by passing this increasing cost to consumers.
Shortage. Shortage happens when the quantity demanded of a goods exceeds the quantity supplies. This problem occurs when the price is situated below the equilibrium price. The effect of shortage is the local seller will increase their supply since the market price is increasing, and consumer will tend to buy the designer egg since they are more or less the same price as the locally produced egg.
Impact on price floor. When the price of eggs is increased, the government imposes minimum price that producers can ensure they receive fair compensation for the price of eggs. This can protect egg suppliers from suffering losses that causes from low market prices due to oversupply, global competitions, and seasonal demand fluctuations. For example, the equilibrium price for a dozen of eggs drops to 4 ringgit due to an oversupply, so the government may set a price floor at 5 ringgit. We can see this can increase income of suppliers and encourage them to continue their productions. Advantages of price floor is producer gets protection that ensure their incomes and prevent price from becoming too low in the free market because of the price floor set by the government. Next, the government may store or keep surplus of egg produce for future consumption if there is a shortage. Next, lower paid workers are better off ever since the government sets a minimum wage to stop their income from falling. The suppliers are encouraged to do investment for improving their egg factory. For the disadvantages of price floor is customers need to pay more for their goods and services. Also lead to wastage of resources because of excess supply or surplus created in the economy. So when the price of egg is increased, they have disadvantages and advantages to customers and suppliers. The customers may feel the price of eggs is too expensive because of the price of egg is increased. Also for the suppliers, their income are more increased because of the price of eggs is increased too. That can may improve their egg factory and also make the suppliers get more profits.
Conclusion. To sum up, the Malaysian egg market has been facing outstanding disruption due to the increasing in price, which have affected both consumer and producer. The rising egg price in Malaysia reflect a mismatch between supplies and demand, worsened by a price ceiling set too low to cover the production cost. As local producers face losses, some reduce supplies or export eggs, contributing to a shortage. While imported eggs temporarily is the gap, they don't resolve the root issues. The price floor discourages local production. To stabilize the market, the government needs to adjust the price ceilings to align with the actual production costs, ensuring both a steady supply and fair compensation for producers.
For the last topic, we will talk about how we can solve the problem of the rising egg price in Malaysia. This issue affects everyone, including farmers, consumers, and food safety. We will discuss simple steps the government can take to make eggs more affordable, ensure enough supply, and can support the farmers. First, the government can set a limit on how high egg price can go. This is called a price ceiling. It makes sure that everyone, especially people with lower incomes, can afford to buy eggs, even during tough times. For example, during festival or when inflation is high, price ceiling keep essential goods like eggs become more affordable. But we also need to think about farmers who might earn less because of this limit. To help farmers, the government can give them subsidies or financial support. This way, the farmers won't lose money and they can keep producing enough eggs for everyone. Another key solution is importing eggs from nearby countries. If there's a shortage, bringing in eggs from outside can help stabilize price and make sure there's enough supply in Malaysia. But we need to be careful. The government must check that the imported eggs are safe and good quality. By planning well and working with trusted suppliers, this solution can work smoothly. For the long term, the focus should be on helping our farmers produce more eggs. The government can help by giving farmers subsidies, 2. Making poultry feed cheaper, and the last one, the government can teach farmers better in modern ways to raise chickens. By supporting local farmers, we will reduce the need to rely on imports. This makes our egg supply more secure and stable. The key is to balance the needs of both consumer and farmers. The government should set clear rules to ensure price limits, import and subsidies all work as planned. This way, consumers get affordable eggs and farmers can still earn enough to keep producing. It's a win-win for everyone. With this solution, we can protect everyone, including farmers, consumers, and the market. That's all from me, and thank you for listening.